Hello, everyone. This is Realtor Linda Peltz. Today I'm here with Frank, and he's going to tell us all about his business. Take it away, Frank.
Well, thanks, Linda. Thanks for having me on your podcast. This is really exciting. Yeah, my name's Frank Garay. I got into the mortgage and real estate business in January of 1987. So it's been like 3 decades, almost four now, a really, really long time.
Know your
And
business pretty well, it sounds like.
done that, no matter what, right?
All the
Uh,
different changes and law
oh,
changes, and you've
you
seen them
name it.
all.
You name it, girl. You name it all. Yeah. And so I had a really cool career because when the big crash came, in '07, '08, I wound up becoming this video blogger guy for the real estate and mortgage industry. And it was something. At first, it was called Think Big, Work Small, and then it was called the National Real Estate Post. The National Real Estate Post still goes on today. When uh, I was the founder of it and co-host of it for 15 years. And about 3.5 years ago, I departed it, but it still goes. Me and my partner split up, but not bad. Like I just wanted to do something different. And so I did that. And through the National Real Estate Post, it was really neat. My career had such interesting things. Like I wound up on the Inman 100, being one of the 100 most influential people in real estate in
Oh, wow.
2010.
Look at
I
you.
know. It was hilarious because it's like me and my buddy, we're just these characters that were just talking about the implosion of the industry on video. And everybody, we had like 300,000 subscribers across the country. And somehow that propelled us to be one of the most influential people in real estate. We're like on there with the Federal Reserve chief, like the head of HUD and Frank and Brian, like, hey, like it was the weirdest thing. We also through that course of that of the National Real Estate Post, I wound up on Fox News multiple times after the bell with Liz Clayman, national television as a real estate mortgage expert. And I'm going to tell you, Linda, it was horrifying. Every single episode scared the living crap out of me because it was just like, I hope they don't ask me a question that I don't know the answer to. You
Oh,
know, you
come
know what I
on
mean?
now.
That
You've
would
been
be
in the
just
business so
humiliating.
long. Surely you
Uh,
know it
I
all.
got through it. I got through it. But then the career, I decided about 3.5 years ago, I was kind of done with doing all that. And I told my partner, say, hey, man, you just keep doing it. You do your thing. You can have it, whatever. I just want to do something else. I wound up going into the mortgage coaching side with a partner of mine, Carl White. And he runs the Mortgage Marketing Animals, which is a very large, probably the largest mortgage loan officer coaching program that's out there. And I said, hey, Carl, I'm looking for something. He's a good friend of mine for over 20 years. I don't want to do the National State Post anymore. What do you got? You got anything? I mean, can I help? Can I be on your team? He goes, oh, I got just the
Right.
idea. So I flew me and my wife out to his home in Florida, and we talked about this thing. We came up with this thing called Loan Officer Breakfast Club. And he says, I want to do this 30-minute free Zoom call for loan officers nationwide, free coaching, 30 minutes a day, but it's at 8:30 a.m. to 9 a.m. Eastern time. So it's 5:30 a.m.
Oh,
to
wow.
6. And but the good news is I'm up at
Get your
3
day
o'clock in the
started.
morning. Yeah, I'm up at 3 o'clock in the
Are,
morning anyway.
are
I said
you
it
an
works
early
perfect.
bird?
Yeah, super early. Like my wife can't even deal with me. It's like I'm at 3:30 in the morning. I'm drinking coffee. I'm doing my thing. It's like, so anyway, I've been doing that for about 3.5 years, and we've grown that to have like, over 35,000 loan officers have joined. There's over 20,000 in the Facebook group. And every single morning for 30 minutes, Monday through Friday, we'll have between 500 to 700 loan officers on that Zoom call getting free coaching. So I've had some success in this world and this industry and doing some interesting things, and different things. So where I'm at today is, which is why I'm glad we got together, is as I thought to my, recently I thought I miss the whole, when I did the National Real Estate Post, it was cool because we had daily content. We were always looking at what's going on and talking about it. So I
Hmm.
launched Real Estate Daily Magazine. And I launched that just about a few months ago, and it's doing really, really well already. Really, Real Estate Daily Magazine is it's an online magazine, and if you're a real estate agent, it's useful, it's wonderful. I do featured listing articles for properties of real estate agents, and they're
Oh,
super
wow.
nice.
That's good to know for all us realtors out there.
That's right. Yeah, yeah. And so I do that where we do a video talk through about the listing. It's really cool. Sellers love it. It's really great, and they work really well. I do throw industry news up there. I work with new home builders featuring their communities, things like that, right? And then even buyer and seller education tips, VA. There's podcasts on there on Real Estate Daily Magazine. So if the listeners or viewers of the podcast want to just check it out, you just go to realestatedailymagazine.com and you'll see it. It's online, it's mobile, it's But it's really cool, and then you can subscribe because we always release some really good stuff. And so the neat thing is when we got connected, Linda, I knew that you did things like this, and so
I
my thought
do.
was, I'm like, now this is a real estate agent I can get behind, right? Like she's doing business, she's closing deals, she's doing podcasts. You are right in my wheelhouse, Linda. So I'm hoping, and I'm hope all your viewers and listeners will agree with me, but I'm hoping that you'll be a content contributor to Real Estate Daily Magazine. I hope you'll be one of the
Definitely.
authors.
I'll look it up
Yeah.
and I'll see what I can do. I found in the real estate industry, like you, I've been in it quite some time to where I've seen a lot of different changes in the market. And my grandmother was a realtor 100 years ago. So can you
No
imagine
way.
the difference from what they did? They was a good agent if they sold, if they closed two deals a year back then, but
Yeah.
heavy paper laden. But
Uh,
in my career, I've seen a lot of it going digital and online. And so many of the brokerages are so old school, knocking on
mm,
doors and handing, mailing and that's not where the people are. People don't have
mm,
time for that. So
mm,
I've seen the digital as extremely beneficial for our lives and to get the word out and get the information out because there's so many different changes that come up ever so often and whatnot. So I, like you, have had to progress in my career, right, to keep up with the demand.
yeah, for
But it's
sure.
interesting, I'm out there and on social medias and different things, and it's interesting to drive into a parking lot or a restaurant, and I've got people, hey Linda, I just see
I
you.
know you.
I know you.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Or I'm out
Yeah.
showing a house and I got neighbors stepping out the door going, hey Linda, get us a good picture.
Well, I'm impressed. I mean, it's to find agents such as yourself that um embrace this kind of stuff and aren't, that are not fearful of, getting on a video, and getting the word out there and being yourself, being, vulnerable and being yourself. And this is who I am and this is what I do. And, it just, I think it's awesome. It's hard to find agents that do it. There's really not a lot. If you think about, videos like so old school now, isn't it, Linda? Like videos
Mhm.
so yesterday, but yet there's still out of all the real estate professionals that are out there, I'd say it's just a super small percentage that actually
Get on it
do it,
and
do it, or and especially that
expose
do it
themselves to the
consistently.
public, to
Yeah.
where you kind of become a little vulnerable because
Yeah.
your whole life's out there, so
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I've talked about it with my family and my friends and everything, because and sometimes I get people, that aren't real on there and I have to boot them off and different
Yep.
things. It's like I,
Yeah.
I know my content's for real people,
Yeah.
not you
Real
scammers.
content for real people. Yeah. There's your new tagline.
I
You can
know,
have,
huh?
you're
Content for real
welcome.
people.
You're welcome. Real
Thank you.
content for real
Thank you.
people.
I'll use that in your
Actually,
in
I
your
might take
magazine.
it. Yeah, I might keep it. So yeah, never mind. Forget you ever heard that. No, I'm kidding. But I forget, what area are you in? You in the Southern California area, or where are you at?
I'm in the Midwest part of California, so Central Valley.
Central Valley. Okay, cool. Good
Right,
area.
which is
What city are?
predominantly most of my work, which is your Fresno,
Okay,
Clovis, Madera, Sanger,
neat.
but I cover a very, very large area as far as my license. But
Yeah, of
we can sell anywhere in California, and I do. I get a lot
course.
of consumers, or maybe previous clients that have a home maybe up further north or further south,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
And then so I'll help them with that. Um, we're we're a little limited, right, because of the location, but I can still take lead on the transaction and get them through it, right? And
yeah.
I may have to put another realtor to do a lot of the physical stuff up there, but definitely we can sell anywhere or buy anywhere in California. But I do most of the bulk of my business is right in the Central Valley
It's a
and
great area. It's
yeah,
it's
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 very
it's
large.
really cool. Yeah, no, I thought you were south of me. I'm in Vacaville,
Hmm.
just outside of Napa, a little north of you.
Definitely.
So
Definitely.
yeah,
I'm a little further
so
south, but I do have
yeah,
some up in Modesto I'm working on. That's kind of it. Paso Robles. I I mean, I'm all over it. When I hit the three, I can only hit three of my borders within one day in order for
Mm,
showings and different things. I mean, there's just not
yeah.
enough time because it's such a large area.
Yeah. That's the thing about that area. It is sprawling. You know what I
It's
mean?
very
Yeah.
sprawling. Yeah.
Yeah. So cool. Well, I tell you, I'm really connected to the market. I'm really connected to what's happening, politically within the industry. I know a lot of people, Linda, right now are just freaking out on interest rates, like what the heck is going on? Like they're supposed to be coming down, man. What's
Well,
happening?
give them a clue there. It's let
Yeah,
them know
so
what's happening right now with the election going on.
here's the thing, the election's an interesting thing, and this is being recorded on election day, just for everybody's so we know. But the election is not supposed to be something that influences the Federal Reserve in rates, right? In fact, they try to shy away from making rate just adjustments, especially downward rate adjustments, close to an election day, right? They try
Mhm.
not to do it because they don't want to be perceived as being politically biased in any way, right? So
That's statistically what's been going on.
right. So, but what we do have going on is that it's just gosh darn, most of it is really just inflation numbers that are keeping everything up, and so just so everybody understands, mortgage rates are very sensitive to inflation. So, and inflation is bad for mortgage rates, right? It's bad. And the real simple understanding of that is if there's inflation, that means things cost more. That means if you're an investor, you might want to invest in the stock market because companies are making more money. Right. So stocks are going to improve. Things cost more. So you throw your money in there, they're making more profit. That's where I'm going to stick my money. But when things get a little sketchy, right, or inflation, it's decreasing, things are getting cheaper. A lot of times investors will run to safer havens, right? Safer places. And bonds are there. So you got treasury bonds, federal bonds, right? And mortgage bonds are there. So people will invest there. So if inflation improves, then you'll wind up seeing mortgage bonds improve as well. So you'll see rates come down. And so they've been tracking this inflation like crazy. And they've been, wanting it to get to a certain level before they start cutting rates. And they did cut rates. Remember, they cut rates. But
And
it
we're
really
we're
did
down a little bit
for like a week.
for
Okay,
a
for
quick
like a week.
moment.
And then it blew up again. And now it's all back up into the sevens, low sevens, high sixes again, and all that. But here's the good news. The good news is the Mortgage Bankers Association and every other big shot brainiac economist out there, right, who knows what they're talking about, they still foresee, inflation getting out of control. They foresee like six Fed rate cuts, over the next quarter or two, right? Couple of quarters, right? Getting into 2025. So they do see that happening. They do see mortgage 30-year mortgage rates floating, get into 2025, right? Get into the first half of 2025. And they're seeing 30-year fixed rates floating, 6% or just under 6%. So if you're willing, if you got a seller willing to pay a point toward the buyer's
Right.
rate or something, you can probably get 5.75, so we're probably going to see that high fives. Some people might get lucky into the mid and low fives, if they're getting a little help or something like that come the middle of next year. But the good news is what they're projecting, and who knows if it's real, right, Linda? But what they're projecting is that they're looking at from 25 to 27 for the next couple of years. Like they're seeing it kind of planing off and not being so volatile and kind of hanging in that, low six, high five area. So affordability should come back, and make it a little easier to get into properties, you know
Right.
come
Right.
2025, 2026, that kind of thing. Okay, the other thing is the projected purchase volume is projected to increase quite a bit as well going into the first quarter of 2025 and beyond. So that's good for us as real estate people. It's good for us as buyers. It's good for us as sellers, right? So we're going to see a more normalized market, some more inventory coming on. We will see rates easing up and making it more affordable. It'll be a good market.
Thank
We probably
goodness.
got a
Thank
nice
goodness.
market coming up,
We are
but
so short on inventory right now.
right, right. I do. But here's the other thing too. Well, there's all the the skeptical, the what's the word I'm looking for? The um, sensationalists out there, you're going to see property values fall by 50% and all this stuff. I mean, who knows, right? I wouldn't want to say they're absolutely wrong, but
There are some that's going to get foreclosed on just because whatever, maybe they lost their
things
job.
happen.
I
Yeah,
mean,
things
things
happen.
happen, but at the time they had the loan, they qualified for it because your lending industry rules have tightened up so much.
Right. Yeah. And then the other thing too, even if there's some people will foreclose, it's going to be a lot, not that many, because most people have equity, So why am I going to foreclose, sell a house? I got equity.
Sell the
So
house.
it's not going to be much, but I think it's going to be good. We're still going to have a little bit of an inventory problem because of the lock-in effect, right? Because everybody locked in at such low rates and things like that. So you're still going to have a little struggle with inventory. It is coming back, but not, crazy. But let's talk about appreciation. So I don't want people to think that, oh, well, I'm just going to wait, because prices are going to come down. Probably not. Like in most areas in California, probably not. You're going to still see probably 4% per year, 5% per year, and that's going up. That's not coming down, right? So, I mean, I think it's a good idea. You know how it is, and it's not just because you're in the business, Linda. It's always a good time to buy some real estate, right? I mean,
It is.
it's
I mean,
always a
get
good time to buy.
qualified
Yeah.
now for what you can pay and then just refi it when and if the interest rates come down. If you wait for those interest rates to come down, we're not going to have the inventory because guess what? Everybody comes back to the market and then
Right.
you're up against 20, 30, 40 offers and guess what? You
You'll
typically at
lose
the
out,
percentages you're going to lose out anyway getting that lower
Yeah.
interest rate.
Yeah,
Get
I
it
feel
now
like,
while you have a little bit of a selection and then
yeah.
time your market, make sure your credit's good and
Yeah,
all the
buy your
things that you
home.
did and just get it refi to that lower
Yeah.
interest rate.
Exactly. I feel like we've all of us in the industry, loan people, real estate people have been saying it for a long time now. Just get in and refi later, get in and refi later. And I think it's just falling on deaf ears out there. I think the media has really hardened the hearts of so many people and the minds, and they just are feeling like there's some big cataclysmic thing that's going to happen. They're going to swoop in and gobble up real estate at a deal. And I
That's the
just feel
hard
bad
part.
for
How do
them
you
because I don't
get
think
them
so.
through that information of that? There are a lot of paranoid people out there. You can't fall
Yeah.
into that
I
because
mean, here's the
you'll
deal.
never live your life.
Yeah, if you look at and you can go, anybody can do this. You can just go Google the Federal Reserve and you can you can just say average home sale prices, Federal Reserve, and there's a chart. It'll just come right up. There's a chart, and it goes back to, I don't know, like 50s or something. I don't know, really, really far back. And it just shows you the steady increase of real estate over the
Mhm.
decades. And even like the 2007, 2008 cataclysmic, unbelievable bust, right? When you look at the graph, it's just like this little tiny little blip, little teeny little
Yeah.
blip, and it just keeps on going up. So even if something did similar happen, right? It's just going to be temporal. It's going to be a
Mhm.
blip, and it's just going to turn right back around and head right back up. So
Yeah.
you can take your chances and wait for that little blip anomaly to pop up and hope it does, which it may never ever, right? If you wait, it's just continually just running away from you. It's still just going up and up and up.
And
So
the
it's
thing is
smarter to
their
buy.
rents are going up. So when are you planning on saving that extra money so that you're ready for that, that
Exactly.
opportunity? Because your rents are going to continue to go up every year.
Exactly.
And sometimes they're going up faster than your pay raises. So
Oh, indeed. Yeah.
I
So
mean
it's
it's
interesting times.
crazy. It is. And I
It's interesting times. Yeah.
try to get it across to them that now's the time. If you're paying rent, get into a house you can afford. It may not be a mansion, but you know what? It's yours and save your pennies, pay your payment, refi it when the interest rates low, and then in a few
Yeah.
years, move up. You use the
Yeah.
equity that you've built into that home as a savings, a bank, right, as your
Mm-hmm.
savings account, and then utilize that to move up to maybe a little bit closer to what you want to end your life, to kind of close out your life in.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
kind of interesting because the midsection of the age group, right? They get these big old monstrosity mansions and whatnot, and then all the kids leave and whatever, and then they end up downsizing.
Yeah,
So
it's totally
it,
true.
it's a vicious cycle, and these neighborhoods kind of just cycle around. So you'll
Yeah.
see a lot of the older ones in the neighborhood, and then whatever circumstances in their life, they start selling off, and then you'll see the whole neighborhood go to these young ones, and then you'll see all the kids running around and different things. And it's
Yeah.
kind of it's the cycle of life as far as the housing market goes. So,
Yeah. You know what I think's a thing that doesn't get considered enough, especially for the first time home buyer, right? Is taking advantage of, FHA, but on a like a triplex,
mhm.
or fourplex, or duplex, triplex,
They
fourplex.
have a lot of them trying to, right? Because they're
Yeah.
trying to boost their income. And what's the income level on rental property that you can boost your income by? You should be able to tell me that one.
Yeah, well, I'm not, I couldn't give you a straight number, but I'm telling you this, the concept here is that, you go, you find a triplex, and I bring this up, Linda, because I recently reconnected with a past client of mine from many, many years ago. This goes
Hmm.
back 25 years, a long time. And he was a single guy. He had a good job, right?
Hmm.
Good credit, had saved a little bit of money, not a ton, right? But he had enough for his 3.5% down for his FHA loan. And he was just such a smart kid. He was a young kid, and he was like, I want a multifamily. I want like a threeplex or a fourplex. And agent that was working with him found a triplex in Vallejo,
Hmm.
and found it, and he qualified because we got to use the rental income from the other
Right.
couple of units to help offset, the payment and things like this. And he qualified. He got in. Fast forward 25 years. So what he did is he never sold a single house. So he bought that, right?
Hmm.
He sat in it for a couple of years. You know what I mean? And then he refinanced it and then rented it all out, pulled some cash out, and then he went and bought another one. And then he
Nice.
bought another one. And now this kid, is sitting on like seven or eight homes. You know what I mean? I think he's got three of them,
Multi-family homes to boot.
multi-families. He's got like three of them completely paid off, right? And so he's just like, he was so smart. Yeah. And now he's got the family, he's got the big, the regular home, and
Hmm.
all that. But he's just a bright kid. And I just when I saw that, when he reconnected with me, I remembered when I put him into that, because I was doing loans at the time, right? I remember when I put him into
Hmm.
that, and I thought, wow, what a great story. And you've done so well. And he goes, dude, yeah, I just kept kind of going because it really wasn't that hard, and I just
Right.
found the right time and I did the right things. And I mean, sometimes it was a little stretch to get into the next one, but then it wasn't, and he
Right.
just kept
And you
moving
can
on. And
always
so
refi when loan
he,
rates go
he
down.
refied everything, of course, when it was time,
Hmm.
and I'm just saying, is if any of your listeners are considering getting into the market, if they're maybe, obviously a triplex might not be ideal if you got, a family with three kids. That might
Right.
not be so ideal.
The
But if you're,
ADUs are the big thing,
oh, big time, yeah, big, and
they either,
rightly so,
yeah, the second home on the property typically is, an ADU would be, like a one bedroom or one bath type
yeah,
unit. But
yeah,
I've had clients that hadn't started the family yet, and they lived in the ADU for probably, like you said, the 2 years, and then they bought another big house, right, with an ADU, and they decided to live in the big house this time, right? And then
yeah.
rent out the ADU and whatnot, which it works great for college students or older clients or different things. I mean, that's all they want, they're
Yeah.
downsizing, whatever. So it's worked out really well. But that's what they do. It's the home with the ADU on it.
I've
So
got a
those are
I've
also.
got a delivery coming to the door
All
right
right.
now.
You want to sign off? Give us your
Look,
information real
yeah,
fast.
just go to realestatedailymagazine.com. Realestatedailymagazine.com. Just go there, enjoy it, subscribe, reach out to me if you want to be on it. If you're a real estate agent,
Nice.
I want to get you on there.
Perfect. I'll
All right.
I'll get on there.
All right, Linda. Hey, thanks for letting me
Thank
be on your
you.
show.
This
Appreciate
is
you.
Realtor Linda Peltz, everybody. My license number is 01997670. I will include all this information down below. Everybody have a wonderful day.